You guys, this world will literally kick your butt. And there was a movie I was watching the other day, and Spirit showed me. If you've ever seen the movie Whiplash, and it was about a boy, who played drums, and he had a teacher who was really hard on him. I'm talking extremely. He didn't like pat him on the back or nothing like that. I mean, this teacher was really rough and mean on him. But he had to fight it, he had to stand up to him. And that's what, Father was letting me know. Like, you got to stand up in this world, because it will literally whoop your behind. But it only makes you stronger. God, He doesn't want to put you through pain. He doesn't like it, but He knows it's going to help you. And this is what I want to talk about, you guys. The other day, I was literally in the bathroom, and I was putting on my mascara, and I had a thought message, a download, and I wrote down, if God is love, if God is love, imagine how much it hurts when you're in pain. Okay, imagine this. If God is love, and say you're in grief, you lost somebody, or whatever it is, that pain you feel, and you love that person. We'll just use that example. Say you lost somebody that you truly loved, and you could never see them again, right? And you love them so much. And all that pain that you feel from that, okay? Now, imagine this. God is love, right? So God is going to feel that. He's going to feel that pain on a fathom feeling, like, of your conscience could feel. Like, if you could feel that pain of what God feels, it would literally take your life. You couldn't feel that on this realm. And that's what God was telling me. He was like, watch you go through it. Imagine how I feel. If I am love, imagine what that feels like for me. And then I got to thinking about the commercial that I saw on TV about the guy. I think it was like, it was a commercial of showing about a series or something, where the guy's at a table in a restaurant and he's praying, and the devil was sitting there with him, older gentleman who was supposedly the devil, and he's telling him, the devil was laughing. I'm like, you're praying, really? Do you think God's going to help you? And the guy kept praying, and it made the devil so angry that he kept praying, and he was asking God for help. And in the moments, we could be going through it, and we could think, God, why aren't you helping my situation? To where and that's the devil putting that thought in you to stop praying. It's not changing anything. Your situation's still the same. You had the pain, so why continue to pray? And literally, there was a situation in my life where I was praying, and one day I'll talk about the situation and what it was. But right now, Spirit says I don't have to say it. But I literally was so drained from praying. And I even got angry for a moment. And I said to God, I've been so good. Why aren't you, like, literally? And God had to tell me that was the devil trying to stop. That's the devil trying to stop you from praying. I end up later on getting peace that night, right? And then when you think nothing's going to change, nothing's going to get better, God comes in and He steps in. See, it's the faith that is power. Do you hear me? It's the faith. The devil's going to make you think God's not going to come through for you. He's not. Don't listen to that. Keep praying, even when you're tired, even when you're so tired and you're drained and you can't take it anymore. Keep praying, because there's a reason for everything. You have to go through things in life because it literally makes you stronger. It does. There was a time in my life where I dropped to my knees on the floor and I literally couldn't take anymore. This was before I was on my healing journey. This was right before. And I literally fell to the floor. And I talked about this on my other channel. I fell to the floor with my arms open wide on the floor. And I was so in desperate need of God. And I literally thought God was going to show up. I thought he was going to show up, right? I literally thought God was going to show up, right? And I laid there and I closed my eyes. And I really thought he was going to show up. I needed him so bad. But he didn't. He didn't show up. I literally thought if I closed my eyes, he would pop up. And he didn't. And I laid there and I thought, wow. But I got up. And I went on out throughout the day fighting. And later on I learned that, even though I didn't see God, I didn't see Jesus, but I got up. I got up and I continued. I continued to start healing myself from within. Do you understand? It makes you stronger. You gotta have faith. You have to have faith. And this is one that he put on me. He told me, he said, don't give up. And if you're going somewhere too, and you're paying somebody money, or somebody or is trying to tell you in the church that you got to pay them, give them money for a miracle, for them to pray for you, I'm sorry to tell you, that is a false preacher. That is a false prophet. It's faith. It's doing the work within. It's taking accountability. It's forgiveness. It's repenting and God, I repeat this all the time, God knows we're going to make mistakes. We're going to sin, but he slowly takes the sinning away where you want to live a better life. You do. And you're going to have people who's going to think you're too good. And let them think, like I said, that's the devil. That's the devil putting that illusion on people. Literally, it's asking for forgiveness. Not saying that you have to return to the people or return to the situation that hurt you, but you forgive and you let go. Don't stay in these karmic cycles around people who are hurting you, or stay. I'm not even going to say what I'm going to. For example, I'm just going to leave that out. Don't. And another thing I wrote down too, I was told to write down: be with someone who is not in competition with you, who celebrates you, who teaches you, who loves your flaws, who gives you peace, who respects your boundaries, who honors your love, and wants not only to make yourself better, to make you better. You shouldn't be with somebody who's in competition with you, who doesn't mind for you to have your space, who you're not afraid to ask for help. I also wrote down too, in the movie Devil's Advocate, right? The devil said, I'll offer you all the temptations you could think of: money, sex, drugs, whatever temptation you could think of. But Keanu Reeves' character said, what about love? And the devil said, well, who needs that anyway? Imagine this. Imagine you had all the money in the world. You had the houses, you had the cars, you had the boats, whatever. But you're around a bunch of yes people who kiss your ass, who never tell you the truth, who just wants to feed off what you got. Would you want to be with that every day for the rest of your life? Not having love, not having people you could trust, who want to use you for, whatever you got, and not loving you who you really are. That's how you stay in these low vibration. I'm telling you, you cannot duplicate or make love in a lab. If God was to come to you and say, would you have money or love? I asked somebody once that, I said, would you rather be with somebody who will give you, say a man will give you everything that you want, but he would never be at home at night because he'd be out sleeping around? Or would you rather have a poor man? And the person, well, I'd rather have the guy with all the money. But then they thought about it. And I said, well, wait a minute. That guy wouldn't be home. He'd be out sleeping around. Imagine how empty that would feel, not having love. that miserableness, that hurt, and that's how these, not just in that situation, these generations, it keeps going on. The devil can offer you all temptation, everything you want, minus the love. Minus the love. Love always wins. I'm telling you. Love always wins. God could change the darkest person. You ever heard of love healing sick? I'm telling you, love can heal sickness. It can change the meanest man. I promise you. And that's one thing those are the things that God had me literally thinking about this week. Motorcycle. I've been having something about a motorcycle or whatever. Another thing God told me too, he said, and this is something that I recognize too this week. Sometimes you'll be in a situation, right? And God will have you on assignment. My beautiful souls, to my chosen ones, the ones who are on assignment, And sometimes you might still be there longer than you want to be. Sometimes you may not realize you're on assignment, okay? But you are. But God will give you moments where you'll see why you're on assignment. And that was something that happened to me yesterday. Literally, why I was still on a certain assignment. Literally. And it would be such... God will still have you say somebody's still in your life for a particular reason. Or a certain situation, because you literally can be on assignment. You can be on assignment just to pray for somebody, or whatever the reason is. So hang in there. God knows what he's doing. I'm hearing divine intervention. Okay, use your discernment. Okay, protect your peace if it's the last food in the world. I'm telling you. And if you are with people who disrespects your boundaries, who doesn't want you to have that time to regroup yourself, or who doesn't celebrate you, or who just brings you chaos, God is telling you to cut those people out of your life. Use your discernment. No, and watch who you go, like, church or people around these false prophets. I'm telling you, use your discernment, because you don't have to go to somebody. If you're going to somebody who's saying, give me this amount of money, for your miracle, I'm sorry, that's false. It doesn't work that way. Yes, miracles happen every day, but you got to have faith. God gives whenever he decides. And also to go within. Something that happened to you 20 years ago, or a situation of, for example, say, I don't know, a man or woman used to abuse you or something, forgive and let go. I'm not saying you have to sit at that table and eat with them, but just, forgive and let go. And you guys, whenever I get on here and I talk, I tell these things to myself. I'm not on here saying anything, that I would never tell myself. I'm just telling you from the experience I've had since I've been going within. And I like to share anything that I learn, or I like to share and to help people out, because I love learning from things I learn from people. I've learned a lot of things on this journey from people, and just hearing about from what they've been through. And God will bring somebody in your life who it was not by accident, literally, that it was meant. It was divine intervention. I think about my granddaughter and the way I was telling my daughter her birthday. I'm not going to say her birthday, but it was the numbers of divine intervention. Literally, like it was a divine intervention. I've talked about that story on my other channel on that. And children are a blessing. They are a blessing. They are. And being a grandparent, a grandmother, really, God intervened on that. I know God intervened on that. But since I've been a grandmother, I've learned a lot. And I really love the simple things. I may get tired and cranky sometimes, but it's love. It's love. God says fall in love with many things that you can truly love. Enjoy the moments. Enjoy the moments that you're in, because it could be gone like that. Literally, it could be gone like that. And to have faith, you guys. Have faith. I love you guys. 333. Oh, journey long.